Yo, we in the game talking number stakes high. Knowledge and skill like a bird we fly. Analyzing stats, we don't just guess. Betting on the win, you know we're blessed. Just the bet slips, we keep it real. Breaking down the odds, you know the deal. Just the bet slips, we're making plays. Informed decisions, we light up the ways. Chasing that victory, hit the big score. Join the community, we're here for more. Rolling with the punches, we look for the signs. Parlays and props, counting all the coins. Every podcast episode, we bring the heat. Strategies laid out, can't accept defeat. Tune into the wisdom, hear our call. In this betting world, we'll never fall. Just the bet slips, we're making plays. Informed decisions, we light up the ways. Chasing that victory, hit the big score. Join the community, we're here for more. On this gambling journey, we ride the bet. With just the bet slips, you ain't seen nothing yet.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Just the Bet Slips, where we promise you one thing and one thing only, and that is to bring you the hot tips to help your bet slips. We had a day yesterday, and when I say a day, I mean not really a day. What a game! If you watched all 15 innings of that insanity last night between Detroit and Seattle, that's what I wanted Game 4 to be in the NLDS between the Dodgers and the Phillies. Did not come to fruition. Thank you, Orion Kirkering. I'm still getting over it, but there's acceptance. There's like stages of grief, right? And I'm in the acceptance stage that Orion Kirkering is a terrible player. I have seen some crazy, wild crap out there. If you're a Phillies fan right now and you're watching this, like I've seen some wild stuff from some fans out there on the internet. Like we should bring Rhys Hoskins back, move Bryce Harper back to right field, not sign Kyle Schwarber. Stop it. Stop it. I know you're still in the grief stage, man. Like look at it objectively and get the heck out of here. Now, I get the fact that Kyle Schwarber doesn't show up in the playoffs or hasn't the last couple of years, and he wants $35 million. You're not paying him for his playoff production. You're paying him for his regular season production, so you can not see him produce in the postseason, to be very clear. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we got some fun. We got some fancy. We got some free. And we're going to have the hot tips to help you bet slips today. Last night was nuts. I was kind of hoping the game would go even more because I was still needing Colt Keith and Riley Green to get a hit last night. That didn't happen.
Yeah, they kept walking Riley Green.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. And then Colt Keith did nothing.
No, he was terrible.
But J.P. Crawford and Polanco with a game-winning hit, but J.P. Crawford got a hit. So I was like, man, I went 2 for 4 and got a big old goose egg on a big boy. So should have just gone with my Seattle Mariners and not with my I should have gone with Kerry Carpenter is what I should have gone with. But hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, and then all of us had the same freaking games. They're the same freaking teams, and we should have absolutely flipped the exact opposite way on every single one of them. Rutgers lost by more than 10. North Texas got absolutely shellacked in the second half.
They got boat race is what they got.
And then Fresno State also got boat raced. So
yeah. I don't know what
we're going to turn things around. Listen, we'll admit our failures. Those were bad reads on our part, but we'll be better. We're going to get back on it, get back on the horse, and move. I know Benny was like yesterday. He was like, there's only 80 yards differential in the model. I was like, yeah, but it came down to execution for Rutgers, and they just didn't execute. So, all right, well, listen, we have wrong takes.
They looked okay in the first half.
Yeah, North Texas looked great in the first half, and then
even Rutgers looked okay in the first half. They were up for a large part of that first half.
Yeah,
then they just fucked. I don't know what was going on. They just fell
Washington
apart.
said, "Hold my beer," and
pretty much
took it away. But yeah, that'll happen. And what are you gonna do? Can't dance all the time. But we're gonna be better today. We got some plays today that we feel even more confident than yesterday. I've got some wild plays out there that I'll share, but they're not on the tabletop. Just because. Why the heck not? I'm going back to my old spreads, man. They treated me right, and I'm going to treat them right by keeping them on the show. But before we do that, let's get to the thing that makes sure we don't get sued, and that is the disclaimer. First off, we are not professional gamblers. This show is for fun and entertainment purposes only. Number 2, please gamble responsibly and at your own risk. Do not gamble more than you can afford and only bet what you can afford to lose. And last but certainly not least, gambling can be addictive, so please seek the help if you need it. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you find yourself in the perils of gambling addiction. That is not just the sportsbook, that is the casinos and the ponies as well. So anything that you find yourself betting on, if you feel like you can't go a day without betting responsibly, if you go every day betting like, myself and Rob do, but we do it responsibly, it's not affecting our lives. So if you do it, and it's turning out to affect your life. You can't pay for stuff. You can't do this, can't do that. Please, please, please seek the help of 1-800-GAMBLER. They have resources that can get you help. Also, if you know a family or loved one, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER and ask them what things that you can do for your family member to get you out of the fix that you're in. We are not, I repeat, we are not affiliated with or sponsored by any specific sport book. We are affiliated with a couple of others like Player Profit, which is technically not a sport book. And please read those terms and conditions before you sign up. I'm not saying that they're the best place to go. I'm not saying they're the worst place to go. But if you want to do Player Profit, if you don't have any other option, Player Profit's better than nothing. I'll just say that. So we're not affiliated with or sponsored by any specific sport book at this time. However, we are affiliated with Nevin Eyewear, and I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat. Now, if you want to get the amazing Nevin Eyewear, just use the link that I'm dropping in the chat on YouTube, and then it will be a reply on X. I just gotta actually get there. There it is. Haha. Usually I have somebody else explaining Nevin Eyewear while I do those links. But actually, prayers up to him and his family again. They're through that tough time. So if you're here and you're live, just go ahead and drop a prayers up for Pat in the chat. We really appreciate that. So that way we show him and the fam some love. But Nevin Eyewear, 30% off or buy one, get 2 free using the link in the description or in the chat on YouTube and on the replies on X. If you want to get some amazing eyewear, Nevin, at a really good price, go ahead and grab it. You're getting 30% off, so $50 a pair, or essentially buy one, get 2 free. So you're getting 3 pairs for the price of like $90. Can't go wrong here. So go ahead and fire up your Nevin Eyewear. We appreciate Nevin and all they do for us here at the show, being our title sponsor of Just the BetSlips. We are also affiliated with, because this show is presented by Fan First Sports Network, and I'm going to go ahead and make this thing huge. But yes, go and check out all the articles and podcasts, whatever you're looking for. Fan First has it. Fan First giving the diehard deserve from the diehard fans themselves. We're all fans on Fan First, and so that's how you get the best content out there. You can check out future podcasts, things like that. And yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And we've got 5 best online casinos. They got the best sport books, blah, 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 blah. So anywhere you want to find your stuff, go ahead and check it out. Fan First Sports Network. Like I said, for the fans, by the fans, Fan First Sports Network. Thank you for being our presenting us here at Just the BetSlips. We appreciate you. Let's get into the actual show, and we're going to start off. We only have the 750 Club today, and then we have our 2 tabletops. It's going to be a short one today, as we were expecting it to be a little longer with a couple more hosts, but obviously a couple hosts can't make it. And again, drop those prayers up for Pat in the chat. We appreciate that. It'll be massive for him and his morale, and with him and his family going through some tough times right now. But yeah, the 750 Club, and we're going to be partying at the 750 Club. Everybody going dancing at the 750 Club. There's one rule. You don't talk about it. There's one rule of the 750 Club, and you tell everybody about it. It's the most inclusive club in all of sports gambling. And Rob, what are we telling the people today?
All right, so we're going first Ohio State versus Illinois. I altered this down to 44.5, and I'm taking the over. I think it may go over the normal over, but I wanted to give us some cushion because I don't want a day like yesterday. So I'm gonna be a little bit safer. So I personally think that Illinois, this is the best offense that has gone against Illinois, and Illinois has looked good, but their defense has given up 122 points over the last 3 games, even though they started off looking strong defensively. I just think that Ohio State is going to put up a decent amount today. I think they win something in this game, somewhere in the neighborhood of 35. They put up. So if Illinois can give us 14 ish, which I think they will easily. I think this game is not going to be that big of a spread. I'm just giving an example. Like, I think we can easily get to 44 and a half. Florida State minus 6.5. I only dropped this 1 point. I don't like the hook at 7.5. I wanted to keep it under a touchdown. I think this is a good bounce back spot for Florida State. They looked much better in the second half of that game last week. They started coming on late. It was a little too late. But I think that they will be able to overtake Pittsburgh pretty easily in this one. I've got UCF. I altered this way up to plus 17.5. Now, let's be clear. I actually think this game's going to be close. I think this game might cover the initial 10.5 point spread. But again, I played it safe today. I worked with the numbers to still get the 750 and give us some more cushion. But UCF has a better overall defense. They're ranked 33rd by Pro Football Focus. And Cincinnati has a hard time pressuring the quarterback. So I think their lack of disruption and their poor drive stopping I think it's all going to stay close, and I think that's why UCF has a chance to keep this game close. So then I'm gonna go Georgia minus 2.5. Georgia to me has the edge in depth, red zone efficiency, talent overall. Georgia's O-line is stout. They've only allowed 4 sacks on the entire year, which is kind of crazy to me. And Georgia has won 11 of the last 12 in this meeting. I think that 2.5 is an easy cover for Georgia. I do think again this will be close. Auburn is better than some people give them credit for, but I think that Georgia is probably going to win this by like 6 or 7. So 2.5 felt good to me. And then USC. I think the line's 2.5. I only dropped this one, and it was just because the odds really didn't change by dropping it to 1.5. So I gave us 1 more point just in case they only cover by 2. I give the edge to the USC quarterback, mainly over a true freshman quarterback in Underwood. I think that also I can't pronounce this guy's name. The quarterback for USC is Maivia, maybe Maeva.
Maybe.
I can't say it right. But he has 500 more yards passing than Underwood already. And then Michigan's going to have to travel across the country for this game. And if you're going to take a true freshman quarterback across the country in a hostile environment, I'm going to take USC. We got this at plus 770, and I got a boost on it on DK to get it up to 886.
You can get the same bet right now on Fanatics at 854 without a boost. And I had a boost at 1025, so that's what I'm taking. Shout out Fanatics for trying to get me my money back. Yeah, I have one difference out there in the world, and you're going to see that here in a little bit. Compared to this, and it's the Michigan game. Michigan, I like Michigan to win this game, but just that might be the one thing that misses, just like everything. But if it does, then I hit my other bet. Maybe.
Yeah, you're covered both ways.
Yeah, so I got it kind of both. The worst case scenario would be USC wins by 1.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Yeah,
that'd be a bad look. It'd be hard. It'd be hard for me to live up to the hype. But
I thought about switching this to 1.5 the other way, but then it dropped it below 750, so I couldn't do it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you whatsoever for doing that. I'm trying to get here. I'm actually going to do an alternate spread situation using a couple of these two, like all SEC squads. Like I'm in it today. I feel like I'm poolside today, just firing random bets and seeing if they hit. But yeah, we're on one today for sure.
I will say though, anybody who watched the show yesterday, there was one bet that everybody was confident on the show yesterday, not that we all agreed on. That was WNBA, and if you bet that like we did heavily, you still made money yesterday, like we did, because
that's correct.
All of us went hard on that game.
That is true. That is 1,000% not a false statement. Yeah, you don't have any piece of this in this, and if you have a piece of it later, Oklahoma, Texas. What are your thoughts there?
They are on my parlay.
Okay, they are. Okay, then we'll talk about it later then. I was looking at it going, I don't know how I want to go on this one. So I figured I'd ask the voice of reason in my head.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump to those. It's green, it's soft, it's plushy. It is the tabletops. And we're going to start with mine. I've got in that money line, I just talked about it. That's the Michigan. That's the difference. I have Michigan winning this game. I know we literally just watched a team last night that we all were confident in would cover at home and win a game at home when they were favored versus a ranked opponent in the latter part of the top 25. We literally just watched the situation play out last night with Michigan, with USF in North Texas. I was on the wrong side of history today, and I'm going to try to be on the right side of history in this one. So that's why I got Michigan on the money line. But I got Ohio State's going to win. There's not even a doubt in my mind. Oregon's going to have a tough test, but I've seen them go up against other ranked opponents this year and do their thing and get it done. They went into Happy Valley up in Penn State and took it in overtime. Their new quarterback, after they just had Dylan Gabriel walk into the NFL and is starting for the Browns wildly. And I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but he's been an inspiration of sorts for many, as he's looking good, and it looks like Oregon hasn't missed a step. So I like Oregon. I like Oklahoma to beat Texas. I think Texas is fraudulent. I think Arch Manning has the football IQ. You can see it in his head pre-snap. He's very much like his Uncle Peyton pre-snap, and where he's looking and seeing where he's got to go. The problem is Ohio State messed him up the first game of the season because they were disguising coverages so bad. He is questioning what he's looking at, because you can look at him and he looks, and then he looks like 2 or 3 other times to see if and make sure it's there. So I can tell that he's trying to read stuff pre-snap, but he's just not getting the job done pre-snap because he's questioning himself because of what Ohio State did to him. So, yeah, Ohio State's a different animal, and I think he's questioning his whole life right now. He's questioning whether he should have, he should even be a starting quarterback at any level right now. So when your quarterback's questioning himself, it leads to bad things. Give me Oklahoma. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. Alabama, they just win. So take Alabama here, and then Georgia versus Auburn. I love that. I literally just did an alt where I moved Georgia to +4, and we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, you get all those money lines at 14.76. Big fan of those. And then I took some alts. Yes, you're going to see a couple similarities. I've got Ohio State here, -6.5. I never like giving up more than a touchdown when I don't have to. I think Ohio State rolls in this thing, but just in case there's, some fluke stuff, a little pitchy woo-woo that gets the job done and gets them within 7, at least I don't lose via the hook. So give me Ohio State at -6.5. They probably win this thing by like 30.
That's possible.
It makes me feel a lot better seeing that they only have to win by a touchdown. I like the Alabama money line as I got there. I like Florida State on the money line. I think they roll versus Pittsburgh, but when the line's at 10 and you go to like move it at 2.5, you're like, why not just give myself the win and I get the same deal? And then Ole Miss is probably going to absolutely destroy. I can't even remember who the heck they're playing. That's how bad it's probably going to be. I can look it up in the bets.
I got you. You go.
There it is. Yep. Washington State. You know the last time Washington State was even relevant? Can you guess the quarterback that was under center for them?
I have no
That'd be
clue.
Gardner Minshew. Was the last time they were even relevant. Was when Gardner Minshew was under center for Washington State. It's probably not, at least it's not 100% true, but it feels like it's true. And I think Ole Miss is going to absolutely roll as they look good. They win this thing by 3 touchdowns. They are the current line's at like 32.5. So I dropped this down by 12 points. But this is another one. It's like I feel comfortable at 3 touchdowns. I don't feel comfortable with over 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, give me Ole Miss to absolutely roll on this one. That's +211. Love both these bets. Go ahead and lock them in. Definitely lock in the college football alt. The money line could get burned by a couple. Like Georgia possibly could lose. And you were even talking about the USC versus Michigan loss. I completely get them. But when I got it at that number, I felt like I couldn't throw a little something on that Michigan money line. So that's where I was at for that. Also, again, prayers out for Poolside and his family. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. That with that tabletop, let's go ahead and jump to yours. What do you got today, big fella?
All right, we're going Oregon money line. So this game I think is actually going to be close. I don't think Oregon covers, to be clear, but I do think they win the game. I just think that this might be what we saw last night at track meet. That there might be a ton of points in this game. I'm going to be completely real. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think Oregon comes out on top. They find a way to get it done. I just believe that they're kind of battle tested because they've already been in a couple of these dog fights. They just went to what was it, double overtime last week, to get the win. Like they find ways to make things happen. Speaking of Oklahoma, I'm going Oklahoma money line. I give Oklahoma the edge mainly because their quarterback coming back meter it can do it with his legs, and we just saw this Texas team give up 7 yards of carry last week and why they struggled last week. I think he gets it done with his legs. I think they're able to get the edge on that. I think Oklahoma pulls away. And the only way Texas, in my opinion, has a chance in this game is if Texas makes mistakes, turnovers, and lose the field position battle. I think they have to lose all 3 to lose this game. I think Oklahoma runs away with this. And then Alabama money line. So look, I don't want to jinx it because I am an Alabama fan, and every time I start believing in Alabama is when I get let down recently. But this team has now proven that they're rolling. They're battle tested more than any team in college football right now. This is the 3rd week in a row of facing somebody in the top 25. They've gone back-to-back ranked opponents. They have come out of all of those games unscathed. I think that today there is going to be just another day of proving that they belong in the top 10. And sometimes you just have to trust the elite teams to be elite, and this is one of those days that I'm doing it. And if you go on Fanatics, they have a boost for this exact parlay to plus 360, so you get it at pretty good odds as well. So that's where I went with that one. Then we've got the best bet of the day. I'm going Brewers money line, even though I don't know what happened in the last game. But so this is a bullpen game for both teams. I like Brewers bullpen better than the Cubs bullpen, for one. 2, the home team has won every game of this series. I don't see that changing today. I think that the Brewers all season long have won in places they should never have won. They've pulled games out of nowhere, and I think this is another case of we don't understand how the Brewers keep doing it, but they're going to keep doing it. They're at home. They have a better bullpen. They have a slightly better offense. Not by much, but just a little bit. So you combine all of that. I think the Brewers go ahead and get the win today. And sorry, Kel, but end the Cubs season.
So I agree with you in some aspects of that. Here's the reason why I'm scared about the Brewers, and I said it. If you've listened to the Sports GPS podcast that dropped at 9 p.m. last night, shameless plug. Yet not shameless plug. If you listen to it, I said this last night. This Brewers team, the way they're winning and the way they're doing stuff, reminds me a lot of the Moneyball Athletics. They win with small ball. They win with being patient. They win with knocking starters out of the game early. They win by upping pitch count. They win by moving runners. They win with clutch hitting with runners in scoring position, and they win by on-base percentage. They don't steal a lot of bags, even though they can. This team reminds me of the Moneyball A's. And what happened to the Moneyball A's? Great in the regular season for years. And then when the postseason came around, they just couldn't sustain it. You can win over 162 like that. But when it comes down to a 5-game series, it matters about the names on the back of jerseys. And this Cubs team has more names than that of the Brewers. Now, what I will say here is the Brewers still have some names. They've got Yelich. Jackson Churio looks like he's going to be a stud. Andrew Vaughn has replaced Reese Hoskins at first base and been great ever since the trade deadline. So I'm not saying the Brewers don't have guys, but when you look over at that Cubs roster and you see 5 All-Stars and they're in a do or die game, their backs have been against the wall, and they've been in the there's no tomorrow for a lot longer than this Brewers team has, because this is the first time the Brewers have faced true adversity this postseason. They had a 2-0 lead. They're like, we can go to Chicago. We'll get one in Chicago. There's no big deal. Lose game 1, 4-3. They're like, not worried about it. And then they lose game 4, and they're like, well, we're going back home. We should be fine. The Cubs are like, we have to keep going. And I'm 90%. Didn't the Cubs lose game 1 versus the Padres too? They've been back against the wall for a while now. So, or maybe they won game 1 and then it flipped after that. I'll check right now. Let's see. Yeah, they won game 1. Never mind. They won game 1, then lost game 2, and then went to game 3. But yeah, it's not like the Cubs have been back against the wall for a while. And I feel like they're battle tested and they can get the job done. I mean, the Cubs lineup, Michael Busch has been on fire. Nico Horner's been great. Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki. Pete Crow Armstrong was an all-star. He's batting 7th.
So I don't disagree that they have a lot of all-stars. Here's where I'm looking at. The fact that this is a bullpen game is what moved the needle for me.
That's fair.
The Cubs bullpen is ranked 22nd in the league, where the Brewers is ranked 6th. That is a huge difference. If this was two comparable starters, then I probably would go the other way. But you combine Brewers being at home with the fact that it's a bullpen game, and I give such a huge edge to the bullpen for the Brewers over the Cubs. I think the Brewers can get up early on this bullpen and not look back. But I do see that, the Cubs have a ton of guys that can just kill you at any moment.
Here's what I'll say, that if the Brewers win this game and go on to the National League Championship Series, they're losing to the Dodgers.
Oh, 1,000%. I don't think either one of these. I personally don't think either one of these teams can beat the Dodgers.
I don't think either one beat the Dodgers either. I think whoever won that Dodgers-Phillies series was going to represent the National League in the World Series. To be clear,
I agree.
However, the Cubs have a better shot of beating the Dodgers than the Brewers do, and my reasoning is because the Cubs are willing to get out of their starter and go to their bullpen in games when it matters. And the Brewers are probably going to be more like, we could stick out with this starter. And that's when the Dodgers beat you. When they see a guy for 2-3 times, they're going to get him that 3rd time. You can't let the guy see a guy for 3+ times. It literally just happened to the Phillies. They watched Chris Sanchez 2 times through the order. They got to him the 3rd time through. Both times he pitched. Same thing happened with Jesus Luzardo. You can't do it. You just can't. I'm sorry. I will still be hot at Rob Thompson because I said it on this program. Do not let Chris Sanchez go past 6. Why do I have to be right all the time, Rob? Can some baseball team, I don't care who you are. You could pay me peanuts compared to what you're paying your managers right now, and I guarantee you I'll be better than what that manager is. And the reason why I'll be better is I don't give a rat's, about the players' feelings. And you're getting paid to play baseball. Do what I tell you. I'm making nothing compared to you. You could pay me $250,000. First off, it'd be a pay raise, to be clear. But second off, I'd also wouldn't be allowed to bet on baseball anymore. That would be a money bet in its own right. So like I'd be making more money and saving money. Like I can't lose in this situation. But yes, like you could pay me peanuts compared to what you're paying now, and like it's writing on the wall. Literally, Dave Dombrowski, call me up. DM me. I'll give you my phone number in DM. I'm not dropping it on here. Let's not lie to ourselves. I'm not going to do that. All right, fine. It's 757-306-8737. All right, so like, yeah, go ahead. Call me up. I'm sorry, whoever's number I just randomly spammed on this.
Say, I don't know whose number that was, but don't call that because
it ain't mine. It ain't mine. Like whoever's number that is, I'm so sorry. For all 44 of you listening, please go ahead and call that number. It'll make my day. Watch it be like some mechanic shop. I'll laugh.
They're gonna be like
hard.
Joe's Chicken Shack in Tuscaloosa.
City Morgue, you kill him, we chill him. But yeah, like it's so bad. That's why I think the Cubs, again, when it comes down to it, it's names on the back of jerseys. Like, why did the Dodgers win? Names on the back of jerseys. That's what it is. And you have to trust them, but know their limits. Like, trust them to get the stuff done that they, but at the same time, know their limits, for crying out loud. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. I'm gonna go ahead and drop both tabletops up again real quick, so that way we have them, so that way you guys can check out what again we got betting. There's my tabletop. Let's get the 750 again. Again, Ohio State, Illinois over 44.5. Florida State -6.5. UCF +17.5. That's moved up. Georgia -2.5. That's moved down a little bit. And then USC -1.5. You can get that on Fanatics for better that you get it on DraftKings. But if you want the boost, you'll get it better at DraftKings if you got that boost. And myself, I've got the money lines, and then I've got the alts. I really feel good about the alts. The money line is literally just a shot in the dark to see what happens. But if I hit the alts, I cover the money line, so it doesn't matter to me. You see what I'm saying? That's why I did what I did. Just for the people out there. And then what you've got today, which is Oregon money line, Oklahoma money line, Alabama money line. Then you're taking the Brewers. I don't hate the Brewers play. Like, listen, it doesn't matter who wins this game. Like I said, the Dodgers will probably win the series. And they're going to the World Series. It's just whoever. I think the Cubs have a better chance at possibly beating the Dodgers, and I just hate the first order. That's what I'm calling the Dodgers from now on, everybody. They're the first order.
So we've got to not let the hatred of the Dodgers stop us from knowing what we know. And we know the Dodgers are going to the World Series, no matter who wins this game. It's
They're
just
the
happening.
First order.
They might be, but the first order is going to get to the championship.
I cannot stand it. Any Dodger fan that anybody rooting for the Dodgers right now that is not in LA, just stop.
I can't stop because I win money.
Do yourself a favor.
I can't stop.
That's different. You're rooting for money. You're not rooting for them.
That's fair.
You're rooting for your bet to win. Like, I can live with that.
They have players that I really like, though. So, like,
if you got no money in the game and you're a Dodgers fan outside of Los Angeles County, stop.
As a Braves fan, I'm afraid
Kylo Ren to beat Ray and who the other guy? Oh shoot. Who's like the captain guy, and the guy who left the first order.
As a Braves fan, I'm a Freddie Freeman fan, so I root for him, and he just happens to play for the Dodgers.
Because he's an absolute savage. Like,
I mean, that's on us. Like, we paid his replacement the same amount of money he got paid to play for the Dodgers. So
correct.
We're just idiots.
He's younger. That's what matters, right?
One of them became the MVP of the World Series, and the other one did not. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, that is fair. Not a false statement there.
And like, how do you not like Shohei? I mean, he's like, I get it. I do get it. They're the new Yankees. I understand.
They are. They
But
are. They are
to
the new
me,
Yankees.
personally, just me, they're more likable than the Yankees were.
Are they though?
To me, they are.
Are they though? Being honest, are they though?
For me, they are. Yes, a lot more actually.
That is a tough sell, my
It's
guy.
it's for me. It's actually by a large margin because I despised almost every player that played on that Yankees roster. So
You are legitimately against Ray. You're against Finn. You're against Poe. That's who I was looking for was Poe. You're against all of them. It's the first order.
I think you just need some days that separated from the Phillies.
Nope, I don't. I don't. You are with Adam Driver, aka Kylo Ren. You are with Andy Serkis, aka the Supreme. You're with all of them. You're with them, and that's
anybody who's watching, put in the chat. Are the Dodgers as bad as the Dynasty Yankees were?
Yes.
No, I'm not asking you. I know your opinion.
Yes, they are.
Everybody else.
There's no doubt in my mind they are. Do I need to pull up spot tracks?
Look, I don't need to know that they spend more money than anybody. I already know that. I don't need to know that they're trying to buy championships. I already know that. But
that makes them
that is not the Dodgers' fault. That is Major League Baseball's fault. They allow it, therefore it happens.
Them and the Mets.
The teams with the most money.
The Yankees are still just as bad.
The teams with the most money are the teams that you're going to see in the playoffs for the most part. And it's just the way it's going to be. There are some exceptions, obviously. But
top 5 squads and payroll all made the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, actually, I'm a liar. The top team didn't. They should have, but they didn't.
Oh, the Mets?
Yep. And that makes me so happy.
Yeah, but I called that shit.
There it is.
I was all about that.
Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, Blue Jays. Astros missed, Rangers missed, Atlanta missed, Cubs made, San Diego made. What's the team? Seattle, Detroit, 16-17.
I wonder if that graph updated with all the moves that San Diego made.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
It moves automatically. Yeah, they do prorated salaries on spot tracks. It's insane. Yeah.
I would say because that they upgraded a lot.
Here's a fun stat for everybody out there that probably doesn't know this. And I've already told it to you, but I'm going to say it again for the people, all 51 of you watching. The Mets had more money on the IR this year than the Marlins paid their entire team. They had more money on the IR than the Marlins paid their entire team. And I also want to think that the Dodgers had more money deferred this year than the Marlins paid.
The Dodgers might have had more money on their bench than the Marlins had.
Also, not too false of a statement.
I mean, it's probably close. Then again, the Braves had their all 5 starting pitchers on IR at one point, so that might have put them close too.
Like Shohei's getting how much deferred a year?
Pretty much all of it.
He's getting $68 million is deferred every year.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much his entire salary is deferred.
To be clear, just that money would have been 75% of the Marlins payroll. Just his deferred salary. That's disgusting.
Don't blame the team. Blame the Major League Baseball for allowing it.
I don't mind the deferred. The deferred doesn't bother me.
It's just the sheer amount. I get it.
It's just the sheer amount.
The teams with the most money can afford to buy the best players, and they
10 years, $700 million.
To be fair.
To be clear, he's going to make more money than the 2 lump sum winners of the $1.7 billion Powerball.
Well, he at least had to work for his.
Did he, though?
I mean, yeah.
He did. All right. Yeah.
He might.
That was
nobody.
That was hate.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Nobody is worthy of that amount of money. I will agree to that. However, of all the people who got that kind of bag, he is probably the most worthy of all of them.
Also, somewhat fair.
I will state nobody's worth that kind of money. But if you look at how much money they bring a team, then kind of they are, because if they don't get it, the owners are going to get it. Somebody's got to get it. So why not the players?
Right. I'm with you there.
I do think 700 is an astronomical amount. However,
That's
if you look at
gross.
the value of the team and who is probably going to end up having the most MVPs of anybody of all time, by the time he's done, if he stays on this pace, he may be the only one that is worth it.
Juan Soto
Soto's close.
made $121 million this year.
Yeah. And he bagged
That's
250,
disgusting.
260?
Well, $75 million was a signing bonus. And then he made $61 million in payroll.
What was his final batting average? Like 260?
I don't know.
I'll bet you it wasn't. It wasn't very good. Then again, Major League Baseball 250 is good now when it used to be 300, but
263, 395 OBP with a slugging percentage of 525.
Yeah,
I mean his OPS was 920. It's not like it was bad.
He murdered the ball when he hit it. It's just he batted 263 for $120 million.
And everybody was walking him early.
Yeah, he was very good, especially at the end. But at the end, it was every other day. He was hitting home runs.
Dodgers, Mets, Yankees. That's it. It's what it is.
The Braves have backed off spending, which is why look where they're at.
Just makes me sick. Makes me 100% sick.
The only way anybody's ever going to get what they want is if Major League Baseball decides to put a cap, and they're never going to do that.
Well, they might with this new CBA.
I don't know. They've tried a lot of times.
I know. Well, Major League Baseball wants it. The players don't.
Right.
Because the players can make money.
Yeah, because they can make. There's going to be a billionaire baseball player one day off of a contract. The way it's going.
Good old Cohen. Unbelievable. And it's guaranteed contracts. That's another piece too. So, oh well, that is today's day. That is today's day. Hopefully, we make some money.
Roll Tide.
Hopefully, you enjoyed our TED Talk. Yes, Roll Tide. Daisy Ridley and the Cubs and whoever comes out of the Cubs Brewers are trying to fight the first order in the Dodgers to make to the World Series. It's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. But yeah, we could pray that the Mariners or
who in the American League is going to lose to the Dodgers in the World Series is the question.
Stop it. Stop it. You stop it right there. I'll leave. You guys have golf. Yes, we do have golf. You're right, Chris. I love you though.
I'm just saying.
I hate you. This has been Just the BetSlips, where we promise you one thing and one thing only every day, and that is to bring you the hot tips to help your bet slips. Everybody go responsibly, chase the bag, and allow us to play you out.
Yo, we in the game, talking number stakes high. Knowledge and skill, like a bird we fly. Analyzing stats, we don't just guess. Betting on the win, you know we're blessed. Just the bet slips, we keep it real. Breaking down the odds, you know the deal. Just the bet slips, we're making plays. Informed decisions, we light up the ways. Chasing that victory, hit the big score. Join the community, we're here for more. Rolling with the punches, we look for the signs. Parlays and props, counting all the coins. Every podcast episode, we bring the heat. Strategies laid out, can't accept defeat. Tune into the wisdom, hear our call. In this betting world, we'll never fall. Just the bet slips, we're making plays. Informed decisions, we light up the ways. Chasing that victory, hit the big score. Join the community, we're here for more. On this gambling journey, we ride the bet. With just the bet slips, you ain't seen nothing yet.